that. And there's grandchildren in this family as well. How do they handle all this? I mean, it's a complete disaster. That was very avoidable and clearly, seemingly was motivated by nothing other than just plain old greed. Plain old greed, which is sad and tragic for this family. Matt Johnson doing a great job out there in Canton, Georgia. Way to bring in the verdict today and tonight. Great to see you, Matt. Thanks so much. All right, let's bring in our think tank. Joining us tonight, criminal defense attorney, former prosecutor Al Wunsch III. Also with us, criminal defense attorney Darnell Crossland, looking a little casual right now, and family law attorney Jennifer Brandt. All right, Al, I want to start here, okay? Because this has been the reaction from a lot of folks. Why in our system of justice, when the jury comes back and says we can't reach a verdict, do we send them back in to reach a verdict? To me, it's very disingenuous because we tell them to, you know, don't compromise your beliefs. We say that out of one side of the mouth. And then the other side of the mouth, we say, come on, give us a verdict, which means someone's got to compromise their beliefs. And this wasn't after 5 minutes. This was after, you know, a few days and, I don't know, 12 hours, 13 hours of deliberations. Why do we do that?
Well, you know, it is very frustrating when you're on the defense side.
I think either side.
Even on the state side. On either side, when that happens, when you have a hung jury, okay, and then the judge gives these instructions that basically says, look, you know, you guys got to do it. You got to, you know, you got to pull through on this. You've been here for it. We're expecting something, and then you come back. The interesting thing on this one was that the verdict then was not that long after that instruction came from the jury, and that in and of itself would lend me to believe that it's a compromise, basically. You know, it's like, oh, all right, what the heck?
Well, it's not a compromise. She's found guilty of everything from top to bottom. There's no compromise.
The compromise is that whoever was holding out said, you know what, that's fine, guilty. Let's go. Let's get out of here. I mean, it's really not fair in that respect. And I've never liked this. I've never enjoyed a situation when that you know, a bomb drop comes in where the judge just basically berates the jury to get some sort of a verdict,
right?
Because it has to be done.
Right.
It's not right, but it is. It's
the law. It's the law. I mean, these cases have obviously been upheld through the years, but Darnell, to me,
every time
it's you know, it's where we're kind of like nudge, nudge, wink, wink with the law. By the way, Al's tie is not all the way up, but Darnell didn't even try. Like, Darnell didn't even try tonight. That's what he thinks about this verdict.
Al is not a litigator. Al's an office
there to
guy.
tie the tie for him. You know, usually he's got the clip on. Today he tried to show these, you know, big shot, but he can't tie it.
So Darnell, do you think there's a level of fairness to this? And I'm not talking about this case. I'm talking about every case across the board. It happened in Karen Reed as well, where the jury says we don't agree, and then we say, well, and, you know, don't compromise your beliefs, but get back in there and agree.
Yeah, so, you know, I have it in front of me. You know, it's known as the Chip Smith charge. And so the courts at some time ago decided with the jury's deadlock, and they report that they're deadlocked, instead of accepting that, we give them this Chip Smith charge. It says, go back and do your darndest to come up with a verdict. It has to be unanimous. You all have to agree, and blah, blah, blah. To me, I think if I was the defense in this case, I wouldn't sleep at all, because it's like taking victory out of my hands by forcing them to go back. And when I pick a jury, I usually tell them, you know, if you're chosen for this jury and it's 4:30 on a Friday and everyone is going to the left and you're going to the right, can you hold your ground? Can we count on you to hold your position? And if they say no, that they're the type that would just be persuaded, you know, I exercise a challenge or I make a full course challenge. In this particular case, when we give this Chip Smith charge, we're telling them, hey, we want to go home on Friday. It's 4:30. I don't want to come back Monday. Go back there and give me a verdict. And I don't think it's right. I think it puts undue pressure on these people, and I think we should do away with it.
Yeah, Jennifer, and then you looked at Melody during the verdict. I don't think she was expecting this, and it was interesting. The foreperson went from count 5 up to count 1, but it seemed like because she heard hung in the morning, and then there was, you know, a couple hours later, all of a sudden they've got a verdict. I don't think she was expecting guilty on all 5.
Not at all. She probably thought that she was going to be free today. So it probably came as a real shock to her, especially after what happened this morning. She probably thought that, you know, jury's deadlocked. They're not going to be able to reach a verdict. You know, this is going to go my way. And then to hear the verdict, it's horrible. It is horrible to watch that. It really is.
Yeah, but, you know, the evidence, there was a lot of evidence there, folks. Those phone calls were not good. Those phone calls were, and you're talking about the burn pile on the 4th in the early a.m. and nobody finds them until the 5th. You got a problem. You got a problem.
Yep.
And Rusty did put that nail in your coffin to answer your question, Melody Farris. Okay, Think Tank staying with us. When we come back, we're going to talk about the family.